Hi, my name is Amy, and thank you very much for watching. So, we are going to continue this, and I think we're gonna get the ads tax because we've been paused for a while. So, let's see if that works. But this is where I left off before at 6 hours and 46 minutes because I had to pretend to work today. And I say that kind of sarcastically, but I did get my work that I told everyone I was going to do done for today. So I think I'm not even going to feel guilty about taking the next 2 hours to do this, if I so choose. I might need a break in there, and if I need a break, I can stop the stream and I can start looking at my other task, but we all try to keep a good attitude about things because being overly negative is not it's not good for me, and it's not good for my audience, and it's not good for people surrounding me. It's not good for my cats. My cats like want nothing to do with me when if I'm in too bad of a mood. So I had 3 days of PTO saved up at my job, and they got acquired, which is why I keep shaking my head. And it's like, well, they're not required to by law to pay me out my PTO, and they signed the paperwork on Friday and let us know. So it's not like I had time to do my PTO, and technically all PTO is void with your 2 weeks notice, but I didn't give a 2 weeks notice. I had 1 week of you can either sign this or not. So I just told work today. I didn't even ask. I was just like, I'm not working Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday because my former employer is not gonna pay me out for unpaid vacation, and it's not my fault. If I knew I was gonna give my 2 weeks notice, I would have taken 3 days of vacation before I gave them my notice, or ate the 3 days, and just basically wage theft. So I'm not taking off Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. I'm going to meetings and I'm not working. So let's get this started because I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing the ads, and then I can explain what's going on. Basically, we're messing around with vanilla JavaScript right now, and he explained the async function. Oh, and why am I doing this, or why am I doing Otter? I have a developer blog that I am definitely not going to update until I'm done taking this course, because I am doing this way too intensely. It used to take me I would do this for an hour, and then it would take me 45 minutes the next day to condense what I learned down into writing. And if I'm going to get through 32 hours of this, then there's no way. There's absolutely no way that we're going to do that. So maybe eventually we will have me go back and do some highlights. But for now, let's just focus on me and get this done. Does this not have noise? What are we doing? Oh, I don't have the sound on. That's always, that's good.
Start coding. And if this setup part is confusing and the async await stuff is confusing, don't worry too much about it. It'll make more sense as we progress.
It's not confusing. It's fine.
all of our code basically is going to be inside this async function main, which is going to be our main script for deploying our simple storage.sol. So our deploy script is going to replicate exactly what goes on in Remix. In Remix, what was the first thing that we always did? Well, the first thing that we would do is actually compile all of our code. So we're going to want to compile our code in our JavaScript project as well. In order for us to compile our simple storage contract, we're going to use a tool called Sulk.js. Now, JavaScript actually has a way to install projects directly into our setups and into our folders. If we scroll down,
so we npm install. Okay, so we're gonna have to so I didn't exactly work on Bandbooks art during my break. I changed the position that Bandbooks art was in so I can work on Bandbooks art. So there is a difference, subtle, but where were we? So Ether simple storage, we're gonna touch package JSON, and then we're gonna come in here and just there's things that you're supposed to put in here, like title, which is first solidity. So you have to use double quotes, which is fair, I guess. It's just stuff like that. And I don't know if we need to do leading, nope, no trailing commas, but what we do in here is npm i-save, and so then we have dependencies, which is sulc. He called it sulk, like you use S-U-L-K. Did I ever answer my friend about times? Hold on a moment. This is important. Shoot. Okay, we'll put that off.
This Sulk.js is exactly what we're looking for because it has a way to compile a contract that imports other contracts via relative paths. You can see a section in this README, and most documentation will have something like this if it's JavaScript compatible for Node.js usage. It says to use the latest stable version of the Solidity compiler via Node.js, you can install it via npm install Sulk. npm is what's known as a package manager, and we actually installed npm just by installing Node.js, right? If we do node-version, you should also be able to do npm-version. Another tool that it comes with is something called corepack. You can type corepack-version. Now, we can install with npm using npm install Sulk. However, I like the Yarn package manager a little bit better. So we're actually going to install the Yarn package manager instead to do all of our package management. If you go to the installation page, the newer way to install Yarn is just by running corepack enable, and the older way is to install with npm. If you go ahead and run corepack enable, after that finishes, you should be able to run Yarn.
The thing with Yarn is that for a while npm kind of sucked, so you needed Yarn, but then npm fixed its stuff, and Yarn is a pain in the butt about everything, and you do not need it. So please stop using Yarn.
Yarn-version. Alternatively, you can just run npm i-g corepack, and then you can run corepack enable. The last option you have is you can run npm i-g yarn. This will install Yarn globally for your system, but this is considered the outdated way to install Yarn, and ideally you run corepack enable. But in any case, after you run those, if you run yarn -- version, you should get something that looks like this. Now that we have yarn, we can actually use yarn to install all of our projects instead of npm. Back in sulk.js, where it says npm install sulk, we can do the yarn equivalence of npm install sulk, which is going to be yarn add sulk. This will actually go ahead and install sulk to our project. If we open up our folders, you'll actually see that this added a couple of different folders. It first added a package.json. Package.json is a file that tells us a lot about our project.
Oh, we should actually look and see. Okay, so we are at minor versions difference, so it should not be a big deal. See, it's a 0.8.13 for him and .17, which means that there's probably like a spelling mistake that they fixed.
Project and the dependencies that it works with. For example, we've installed the sulk package of 0.8.13. Our yarn.lock tells us the exact version of all the different packages of our project. For example, the reason this is so important too is sulk has a ton of dependencies as well.
What's up guys, Alex here from Zbeck. Today I'm excited to show you our newest product, the Zbeck Tri-Screen 2. This is a laptop attachment that adds 2 additional screens to any laptop, instantly boosting your productivity and giving you a portable workstation. So I'm going to show you how it works. First, you're going to grab the product, expand it to fit on the back of any laptop screen, slide the screen out from one end, slide it out from another. Got a convenient little kickstand here for you for additional support. Let me turn it back around and show you how we connect the screens to your laptop. So right now we're connecting to a MacBook Pro via the USB-C ports on the Tri-Screen. It works with any operating system, Mac, PC, Chromebook, you name it. It also accepts mini HDMI inputs. We've got an adapter as well to allow it to connect with a USB-A port. So now that we've got everything booted up, you can see that we've got all the different screens that we need to be productive today. And if you need to drag something from one to another, it's as simple as grabbing that tab, sliding it across, and there you have it. And then if you need to move it back over, you can slide it over, and you're all set. When you're done, and you need to pack up and go, this is as simple as unplugging each screen, sliding them back into the housing, and you can shut it down and put the entire product in your backpack, briefcase, whatever it may be, and take it on the road with you. Once again, this is the Zbeck Tri-Screen 2. You can learn more at our website at www.thezbeck.com. Thanks, guys.
So yarn.lock tells us exactly.
So I actually tweeted about this today. My new job company, parent company is the correct term. They have a office budget, and well, it's $300, so-called, or like allegedly. And so I was looking at second monitors for this laptop because at my parent company I'm leaving because they sold us, like Chattel. I got a monitor stand and a third monitor, so now I have 3 monitors at my day job. And but my docking station broke last week, so I had to replace it, and it's somewhat broken, so I'm going to return it and get a docking station. I was wondering if I could get another monitor for this laptop with their money. But what I think I'm going to do is get an iPad and a separate clip stand that I'm going to put on the cooling. I just bought like a lap pad because this laptop kind of futzed out the other day. So what I'm saying is I might be getting a second monitor that is an iPad, which means that I can get and have BandBooksArt pay for it, because I'm like putting it off to the side. It's going to go to the right, but like it'll help me during having a second monitor is helpful for like when I'm streaming, or like if I'm doing the AI artathon, if I have a second monitor, I can, check DMs and stuff on Twitter while I'm doing the artathon and it not show up in the streaming. Or like when I'm doing the metaverse programming, I can just show the VR environment and not my code, which is what I prefer. And if it's an iPad, I can get a license to Procreate, and I can fix up some of the AI probably, like just the outputs. I'm not an artist like that, but I think I could learn how to like erase some of the bad stuff from the AIs and improve some of the outputs eventually, and that will help with. It's a part of my job at Banned Books Art, and an iPad, a 10-inch iPad, is actually not out of line with the cost of a portable monitor anyway, so we've got choices. So where were we with this? I was telling you how bad yarn is. Yarn is awful. Please stop using it. Developers have opinions.
Exactly what version of Sulk and all the different dependencies of Sulk and any other project that we add. This is an auto-generated file. Don't edit the file directly. The final bit is we get this node modules folder. This node modules folder is going to be where all the installed code that we just downloaded is. For example, if we look in node modules, we can see there's a Sulk folder, and inside this Sulk folder is all the code associated with this Sulk package that we just installed. And since we're working with 0.8.7 of Solidity, we actually want to install that specific version. So we're going to do yarn add sulk at 0.8.7-fixed. And you'll see in our package.json, you can now see 0.8.7-fit.
Oh, do we want to do that? Okay, so he's telling us this. Okay, let's go back here. And what is this doing? Okay, so let's just say that we're doing 8.8. He's doing 8.7. How do I know what version of Sulk do I need? We go to GitHub, and they should probably have tags. And so I'm assuming that these they line up with the Solidity version. So we can just do at this. And there's, first of all, did that update that? Okay. So that's how you know what it's doing. I'm not sure what's up with 8.7, but they have a release. Releases. I don't know how he knows about fixed, but weird. But oh wait, I don't know. But what we're gonna do is actually, I don't know if it updated the thing. So we're going to delete the node modules. And then npmi, and it's not going to take super long. Okay. I'm doing a great job live streaming this and then also having a side conversation on my phone. It is very important though. Shouldn't say anything, but I reached out to someone to help me with Bandbook's art, so I will not be a team of one anymore, which would be amazing. Super, super amazing. So,
fixed in our dependencies section for Sulk. Normally, you can just add your Sulk version like yarn add 0.8.7, but there was an issue with 0.8.7, so we had to do 0.8.7-fixed. You can find the different releases and the different versions if you go to Sulk.js releases and then to tags. All right, great. Now that we have Sulk, we have the ability to actually compile our contracts.
So is there an issue with this here? That's a little weird. Well, hopefully it doesn't error.
We could either compile them in our code and have it automatically run whenever we hit deploy, or we could compile them separately. If you want to go back after this section, there's an example in the Sulk.js repository that shows you how to actually compile Sulk right in your code. We are actually going to compile them separately using a Sulk.js command. The yarn command is both used to install dependencies and it can be used to...
Okay, I'm assuming I'm going to need to do a touch. I want to hire this person if I had money. God, they're amazing. Just saying, there's certain people that you work with and for that are amazing individuals, and I wish that I could. I mean, everyone deserves to be paid what they deserve to be paid. Compile Solidity. Why are we doing this here as a note? Because there's no way I'm going to remember any command.
Run scripts. If you go to Sulk.js and you scroll down, it says in order to use the command line, you actually need to install it globally. If you want to install this globally using yarn global...
I don't want to do it globally like that. But I will do the Sulk. So basically I need to read the documentation. Is install a command line will be available. Okay, so we need the CLI. I don't know, I'm like crowding over my laptop, probably because it's not on a stand. which is fun. Do I need to install it at the same? Oh, you know what? That's probably why. We'll just change this to 8.17. Is there an npm outdated command? And are you going to still complain? It's still complaining at me, by the way. But we're going to delete this again. I think the command is npm-ci. Okay, I'm trying to trust the process. So the package 8.8.7. Oh, I should have just done brew install sol c js. Let's see if this is just a regular command, like an error that I can ignore.
Add sulk at 0.8.7-fixed. You can absolutely go ahead. However, since we're inside of this folder here, which has the yarn.lock, the package.json, and the node modules, Yarn will be smart enough to know, you're looking for the sulk in this folder. So we can actually go ahead and compile our contract using Yarn and sulk.js. If you want to see all the different commands sulk.js allows, we can just run yarn sulk.js --help. And you'll see
npm solcjs do not want okay. npm runs for, stands for Node Package Manager. npx I think is like Notepad executable or something like that. So
it'll spit out a list of all the different options that SoakJS has.
I knew this was right as soon as I saw the --ABI.
You can also run yarn SoakJS -- version to just make sure that we're on the correct version, which is indeed 0.8.7. Now, to actually compile
npm why am I not on 8.12? Brew. This I'm gonna brew. Oh, a lot of things are outdated. Brew upgrade. Um, I think this is the same one I was doing before. Okay, so this is what's going on with this. But there's nothing for me to say. Not much for me to do. Except for hoping that Solidity actually, installs correctly. Hopefully doing this updates my Soul C. I'm pretty sure I did this as an attempt to get what was it? Third Web downloaded onto my local machine. So okay, well that's not necessarily helpful. This is basically installing it as a part of Rosetta. It's such a pain in the butt. Please don't make me go back and figure out like the Git pod. Write down Git pod. I was like, what did I have for lunch today? I had a pot pie. Which reminds me that I need to buy groceries and eat better. So like Patrick Collins was saying, the worst part about any of this is just getting your environment started and working. So hopefully this doesn't revert. This is not fun. Are they removing it because of good sign, or are they reverting? This formula has created a default database cluster, blah blah blah. I don't know why it did that. so we're at 8.19.2. So that's good. So npm I, so we'll see at B. What are you doing? Close. We're getting closer. 17. We'll try 17. We're gonna just go on with that. I'm not even sure if this is a real concern.
File our simple storage.sol, let's run the compilation command. We'll run yarn soak.js -- bin, since we want the binary.
Okay, so we're gonna put this in the README, and I have my VS Code set up to, if you double click on something, it copies it to the clipboard. Do we need... Do we need anything else?
-- ABI, since we also want the ABI. -- include path.
Okay, so we have -- bin, include path. Okay. Let's see, is there anything else?
Path, node modules. Since we want to include any contracts or files in our node modules, we aren't using any for this project, but in the future, we will need to include this -- include path node module. We'll do -- base path of period. This period means that the base path is going to be this folder -o period, which means we're going to output the compiled binary and ABI to this folder. And then finally, simple storage.sol.
So if we just do like -o, will that work? That's better. We can get rid of these two now. We should do, first of all, we should do git init. And then, that seems about right. Okay. I just don't think that the compiled stuff should be stored in GitHub.
Since this is the contract that we want to compile. I auto-completed it from simple storage to simple storage.sol by typing simple and then hitting tab. But let's go ahead and hit enter. You'll see it's running this command to compile this contract. And you'll see two files get output, one called simple storage sol underscore simple storage.abi and simple storage sol underscore simple storage.bin. The ABI is obviously the ABI of this contract, which we'll need in the future. And then the bin is going to be the binary, or the really low level of this code. Back in Remix, if you compile simple storage.sol, you can actually look at compilation details, like the ABI, which we just got, or the bytecode, which if you look at this object, 60806, that's the same as the binary here, 60806. All right, great. So now we've compiled our contracts here. Now, obviously, if you hit up on your keyboard, you can actually cycle through your most recent terminal commands. And if you hit up enough, we can see this command that we just ran. Typing this out or hitting up a whole bunch every single time is going to be really annoying to do anytime we want to recompile. So what we can do is we can add a scripts section in our package.json to shorten some yarn scripts for us. So what we'll do is back in our package.json, we'll add a comma, and we'll add a section called scripts. Add the colon and the brackets. And in here, we'll say anytime we say compile, we will run this long command. So we'll add compile, we'll put some quotes, and we'll paste that in.
My cat is thirsty. Isn't that right, baby? Yeah. Comma, and then it should be in the README. Put that here, save, and we can delete these two things. And then we can do And there we go. That's compile contract.
There. So now, instead of typing that whole thing out, as long as we're in the same folder that our package.json is in, we can run yarn compile, and this will run that whole script for us without us having to type the whole thing out. Scripts are a really useful way to make it easier for us to run long commands. All right, great. Now we have our code compiled. This is going to be equivalent to us hitting this compile button for us to actually go ahead and deploy. So now we have our simple storage.sol compiled. Let's learn how we can actually deploy this thing. Remember, in Remix, we actually deployed it to one of two different places. We deployed it to either a JavaScript VM or with our injected Web3, with our MetaMask. Let's learn first how to do the JavaScript VM, and then we'll learn how to use the injected Web3, or a MetaMask, or some connection to an actual testnet. So in order to deploy this to a JavaScript virtual environment, or kind of a fake blockchain, we're going to need to get a fake blockchain. Now, in the future, we're going to be using the Hard Hat runtime environment as our JavaScript virtual machine, or AKA our fake blockchain. But for this section, I want us to use a tool called Ganache. There's a link to this in the GitHub repository. Ganache is similar to...
What is Ganache? Giovanni. So... go to the site. We're on Ethers.js.
a virtual machine in Remix. It's a fake blockchain.
Okay, so it's trufflesuite.com/Ganache. What is Geth? Also, gonna have to do this. 8:20. We're at 7, so we started at 5:30, so an hour and a half already. We are at 7. We have an hour and a half to go. We are halfway through today. Go me. I'm quite hungry though. I did not eat anything with my lunch, so I might just look back at work and then have dinner early and then come back. Do a little bit of metaverse stuff. It is a little bit weird not sorry y'all, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, so this is a good time for me to end training for right this very second. We will get Ganache downloaded later. What is Ganache? I mean, I'm not gonna deep dive into this. I'm just gonna download it and install it. Pretty sure there's nothing weird in the setup. You just have to. But now I want to try to buy Ganache online. It's not going to work out well in my favor. I should order bagels or something. This is fine. Okay, so we have Ganache now. It's here. next to Fireside. Fireside and Ganache. I need to actually go and explore Fireside because I'm supposed to be interviewed by someone later this month. And I need to know how to use it. So support Ganache, analytics, nope, I'm good. We'll do this part with Patrick after dinner. So thank you. This was a good session. It still says that this is wrong, but we've updated the version of my sulk on my machine, so using brew, so we're good. I will see you later tonight, definitely tonight. So yeah.